how to respond to disrespect without losing your cool. Keep your cool. Keep that on you. I'm going to tell you one of my favorite things just off the bat. I'm going to front load, dessert first here. The thing you fear losing, respect, is actually what you will gain when you do the self-respecting action, when you say no. When people say no, as an example of how to respond to disrespect, you end up getting more respect from the person. They even have two brain cells, not less. So a lot of this is going to be approached from a sense of mindset, how to spot it, how to respond to it in real time, and then of course everyone's favorite, what to say, things like that. So let's get into it. The first thing is, disrespect is not just blatant insults, right? So I think the problem with these buzzwords online is you have to unpack them a bit. Sure, someone insulting you obviously is disrespect, but I think the more day-to-day realistic issue is the more subtle forms, right? So people not valuing your time, people showing up late, like what you would do for them, show up prepared, show up to the call prepared, on time, at the whatever it is, and them not reciprocating in kind. And so the first step is going to be spot it, and that is just to take an inventory of your life, and it crops up daily, weekly, and just noticing how people communicate with you, what you like, what you don't like. And this will be a big theme that kind of reemerges, even though I don't actively try to make it a thing, it just keeps coming through. How do you know? What if they say this? What if they say that? Your body knows, like your gut, your intuition, your like felt sense, your innate wisdom. You will feel it on some level. I believe. I do. Everyone I know knows this. I think you will feel it. Something will feel off, right? It's just like, oh, I mean, they said they were going to like do this and that, or they said, and then they did this, and it's like, oh, no problem. And your mind is kind of trying to justify. That's already a yellow flag when your mind is kind of in justification mode, when your body clearly is like, oh, you know what? That's kind of a weird question to ask me. Or even that question alone sort of presupposes that they don't value what I have to offer, my time, etc. So we're in chapter 1 here of spotting it, is just taking inventory of that stuff. People reschedule on you. And now these things are nuanced. Like some people reschedule because they genuinely are a cluster F with their time and schedule and whatever. But there's levels to it, right? Do you still pay your rent on? Do they still pay their rent on time? Do they still pay their mortgage on time? Like some things they're able to put together, and other things they're not. And so you kind of have to observe and kind of take inventory. So that's kind of the first step. And then once you spot through, there's a spectrum. Blatant disrespect, that's obviously a problem. I mean, if it's that blatant, at some point quickly, I probably just would not continue engaging with them. If you're stuck with them and you're stuck with a narcissist, that's a whole, kind of black hole that needs to be addressed. But this is a bit more generalized. So there's like blatant, and then there's kind of more surreptitious, insidious, kind of smaller scale. And again, just pay attention to how you feel about things, and then notice when your mind is like, oh no, it's fine, oh no, like, oh, maybe they're like just having a bad day again and again. If you need clear-cut things in the tapping into your bodies to amorphous for you, then here's a simple logical thing. Like 3 strikes, you're out, right? The first time you're late, oh my gosh, the traffic, I know I'm never late, I'm never whatever. First time, no problem. Second time, new excuses, oh, but and third time, you're like, you know what, there's a pattern. And as soon as you see the pattern, you can bet your marbles that the pattern will probabilistically, likely, statistically continue. And just being aware of that is going to, be very empowering and helpful, just to notice the pattern. So we're still in the spot it. Now moving to the shift it, mindset shift, right? Because if I just like, I don't believe in just tactical, oh, you just say this is disrespect. Like, no, you are the kind of fulcrum here. Like, we have to build you up. You have to be someone who's able and has the mindset and strength and inner, valuing yourself to actually handle these different things. That's why I don't lean too hard on the gimmicky, like, say this, say that, which we're going to get to just to kind of placate some people. But I think the more profound stuff is the mindset, right? The mindset is, it's about them, not you, right? I mean, it says, they're making a judgment on you perhaps, and it's coming out in a form of disrespect. But like, ultimately, the more you can kind of observe in third party and be like, okay, like, this is where they're at. This is kind of what they're offering, quote unquote offering. And that's fine. It doesn't cost you anything to say no. Like, when you actually do this self-respecting action, you're going to get the thing you want, which is respect. So just unpacking that. Another thing to break mindset shift is logical fallacies. Like, you standing up for yourself does not mean you're selfish. Like, you asserting a boundary, doing the self-respecting thing of like, I can't honor that request or whatever. It doesn't make you selfish. That doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make you a bad friend. Like, the more you can shift those mindsets, the better. And just even noticing that, right? Like, this is why I talk about this stuff, because it's like a never ending thing. Just even witnessing, like, oh, that's an interesting thought. Like, if I said no, well, play that out for a second. If they're actually your friend, then they would respond. How would an actual friend respond? Like, oh, no problem. Like, that's totally fine. So that's part of it, is just playing it out of like, they either are a disrespectful person, period, and then you respond in a way that has to assert yourself, and they don't handle it well, fine. Like, that's information, someone you probably don't want to be around. And if it goes another direction, it goes a different direction, they totally understand, and they're not, I just think a lot of it comes down to self-limiting beliefs of like, oh, I can't, what if I don't get back to them, or if I don't do the thing. It's like, no, these don't actually make sense. So you have to, that's frankly kind of a master skill. It's a bit awkward to jam into video, because it takes a lot of work. But just even observing these beliefs that don't serve you, that's bad, but they're not true. So it's like, not useful, not true. And just, you're not being difficult, you're being clear. Things like this. So it's like reframes, mindset shifts. Play around with that. So moving on to chapter 3 here is just slow it down, right? Like, I think a lot of bad mistakes and a lot of kind of acquiescing to things you probably don't want to do, at least from my personal experience, like, that happens. It's a fast on-ramp. So just slow it down and just kind of like, you heard it, you can make eye contact, you can, or it depends, if it's via text, these are all different formats, but kind of just, if it's a text thing, online, or kind of like in real time person, it's like, you don't even have to respond or let me get back to you, or like interesting, or just stare, or just like smirk, half kind of like, like, got it, and just kind of like deflate, because what they want is the reaction and the ramping up and the meeting them and accelerating the kind of on-ramp into decisions and actions and responses that will make you feel foolish, or so they want to speed it up. The best thing you can do is just slow it down, right? And so then, well, that feels awkward. So then again, we kind of have to go back to chapter 2 of the mindset. It's like, you're not slow, you're intentionally slowing it down, for them. So it's like, you're doing things that are deliberate. And the right people would actually respect that. They would actually be like, oh no, he or she actually has kind of this self-grounding to not just like fall off or like go chase this BS thing that I'm dangling in front of them. So just kind of like self ground yourself. You don't have to respond. You don't have to just take a beat. Like, it's a lot better to just, like, literally, you could just pause. You don't have to pause like deer in the headlight. You can pause like, you're signaling, yep, I got it, I heard it, not kind of not giving you the response you want. Which, if we're in disrespect land, is usually some form of, you provoke them back or anything like that, right? So it's usually fight fire with fire. Like, they want the reaction, quote unquote. So don't give it to them. So in terms of little tidbitty say it pieces, I think there's a time to play dumb. Just like, what do you mean? Like, what I did what? What do you mean? And I didn't catch that. Like, what did you say? Like, can you repeat that? You have to find your own natural thing. Like, I don't think people are ever. I can't imagine someone just like walking around and just parroting back things they heard on a video that like feel foreign to them. So it's like you have to kind of ingrain. Interesting. Let me get back to you have to kind of ingrain your own catchphrases. Otherwise, you're not going to use them because it feels clunky, feels awkward. So like, come up with stuff that just feels true to you, but like, interesting question. And just come up with your own phrases. Sometimes I'll say things I've never said before, just kind of what comes through of like, I'm going to be at peace with like however you want to look at this. Like, oh, but this means this and this means that, and you're this person. It's like, rather than argue with you, it's like, I'm at peace with like however you want to look. Like, I totally get that's how you're looking at it. Like, we're not gonna debate. I'm not gonna convince. You're never gonna convince anyone in an argumentative debate form. Like, there's one thing you could learn. That's not how you change people's mind. That's not. So there's like literally no point to even arguing with them. So you just have to have your own kind of diplomatic, neutral phrases that don't initiate or propagate the fight that they want to have. So, I mean, no response is better than just barking up the wrong tree. So that's all good. And I really think, I could give you so many examples of like, what did you say? How do you respond? I would just, it's good to have a couple back pocket. Like, when you're in a pinch, it's good to have back pocket things to say. That doesn't work for me. Can you say it again? I didn't catch, like, look, what do you mean? Like, a level of just kind of like neutral / play dumb. That's fine. I think it's more helpful in the sense that it gives you this veil of like, it seems like it gives you confidence. It gives you a sense of you have a way to handle it. But I don't think that's really what it takes to handle disrespect on a like life over life, people over people, like week over week respond, like how people will show up, how people will test your limits, how people will test your time, how people will flake on you, how people will not value your time and try to get free shit for like it that stems from a deeper, you have to value yourself. So when you value yourself and you reframe these beliefs, it's easier to say and stand by the different phrases or assertions of like, oh, like that doesn't work for me, but I'll, let me think about it, I'll get back to you. Like, it's easier to stand by the tactical top, what did you say, how do you respond, when you're actually someone who, really stands by it. So that's why I don't just jump into or even believe all in on the like, verbal piece. But we can flush that out perhaps in another video. It's just not really, I think there's other people who their whole life is just giving you catchphrases and little clips and little tidbits of what to say. So you let me know if that's been helpful. So you're not losing the relationship if you like, you either do lose the relationship and it's good because they're just a disrespectful person, or you just take the courage rep, talked about in the last video, do the courage rep assert yourself, take a beat. Don't just respond. Don't reply with more animosity. Take the courage rep. You're not losing, period, right? If the relationship is not meant to last based on how they treat you, come to, again, the mindset, come to peace with that. And if it is still, up for grabs, then you're just stepping into the person that you want to be. So like, the more you can think of it that way and give yourself credit for actually, getting through these tests. It happens all the time, happens to everyone, happens to people that I'm like, I wouldn't want to disrespect. Like, this is why it's something that everyone has to deal with. So I'll cut it off there. Definitely like and subscribe. It literally, actually, unbelievably, it helps the algorithm. No, you would not believe how much the like and subscribe. No, but what it does do is tell me what you guys want to hear more of, what you want to hear less of. So it does give me feedback. So if you got any value out of this, like and subscribe. Have to say that. I don't know how people need reminders of that, but here we are. And on to the next one. God bless.